This conference will now be recorded.
Right. In the last session of Python, we started with the control flow statements and we completed if, else, nested if. Elif is there now. Control flow statements are three types. One is conditional statements. Next one is iterative statements. Iterative statements. Next, transfer statements. Transfer statements. Conditional statements are these: if else, nested if, elif. These are the conditional statements. Iterative statements are only for loop and then while loop. While loop. Transfer statements are break and continue, pass. These are the transfer statements. First, we have discussed already if else, nested if. Now let me talk about elif here. As I said that elif is the short form of else space if. Okay, elif is the short form of else space if. But in Python programming, else space if will not be possible. Okay, so that's what we have to short form. We have to use elif is a keyword. We have to use elif. This is nothing but else space if only. It is also called as nested if logic. Instead of writing nested if like this, now you can see here, it is nested if only. If else like this. Same code we can also write in different way by using elif. I will tell you that. But before that, I want to use where in which case exactly we use elif keyword. Let me show you. So let us consider this is input number. I equals to int of input of enter a number. If I equals to 1, for example, I is matching with number 1. I have to print here only 1. Simply, I have to print what's up only 1. If I equals to 1, then what we have to use? Print 1 only have to print. Simple. Let me wait some time because PyCharm editor is not fully responding to us. Okay, even when we try to type over there, the letters are not appearing over there. Let me. Now I can say print true. I have to say that. Print true, not print only 1. This is one if condition. Next if condition, I equals to 2, I'm taking. Print 2, I'm taking. TWO. If I equals to 3, I'm taking. Print THREE. If I equals to 4, I'm taking. Print FOUR. Okay. These are multiple conditions, but don't think so. These are nested if. It's not a nested if. Undoubtedly, it's not nested if. It is just multiple ifs only. It is not nested if. If all ifs are there. If is used to test a specific condition, I said. Else block, I'm taking only one else block. If user not entered 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, I can say this is invalid number, invalid input or invalid number. Okay, invalid number or invalid input. So what will happen in this program? If your input is matches with 1, this will execute. If your input is matches with 2, this will execute. If your input is matches with 3, this. If your input is matches with 3, 4. Your input is not matches with this all conditions, then control simply immediately will jump into a invalid number. Okay, but there is a problem in this example. So what is the problem in this example? I'll tell you. Once I begin execution, if I entered input values in the output window, like terminal window, 9. So what will happen if I enter 9? I value 9. 9 equal to 1, not correct. 9 equal to not correct. Not correct. Not correct. Obviously, it will go to invalid number. This is fine. So perfect, no issues at all. But even then, you can see if I entered my input is 4. Okay, my input is what? 4. 4 equals to 1, not correct. 4 equal to, not correct. 4 equal to 3, not correct. Yes, it is correct. Correct means it will jump into 4. So if this condition is true, then else block will not execute. No, so that's what here control is not moving to else block. 4 is there. But the main problem in this example is what you know. When we enter my input is 1, then hit the enter button. Now you can see the problem is what only 1 is printing. Yes, your I value 1, it matches with 1. Only 1 is printing. But again, you can notice this invalid number also coming. Why this is happening? Okay, this is the problem. Previously, whenever we entered 4, only 4 is coming, but invalid number is not showing. Why the reason? Because this fourth condition is the last if condition that is immediately preceded of else. So if this condition is true, if block will execute, else block simply will ignore. But here I'm including 1, I equals to 1. So if this condition is true, this will print. But it doesn't mean that it should not check these conditions. Compulsory these conditions also will check. Because it is multiple ifs. Number of ifs are there. Number of times you are checking the condition. So I equals to, again it will check. If I equals to 1 is true means, obviously it is false, no? 1 equal to false, 1 equal to 3 false, 1 equal to 4 false. If this is false, obviously it will go to else block. That is going to happen here. So even second number also if you entered, you will get what actually invalid 2 and invalid number we are getting. Then third number also I'm giving. Suppose here enter a number 3, invalid number it is coming. Got my point? Enter a number that is 3, invalid number it is coming. So why this is? The reason is even though when we check the condition here, one of the condition is true, but still other condition also test. That's what every time it is going to be else block only. Let me keep the breakpoint and run debug. Run debug. So once debug, when we click on debug, debugger window will start here. Okay, debugger window start here in the bottom corner. In this debugger window, we have to enter the number. What we have to enter the number? So first function key plus what we can say. Oh, debugger window not at all. So this debug test. So you have to enter a number here. So I'm entering my number is 1. Then press enter. Debugger window started. I value is holding 1. 1 equal to 1. It is correct. Yes, if it is correct, function key plus F8 I'm hitting. It will go to inside the if block, print 1 only 1. After that, if this condition is true also, again it will check one more condition like I value 1, 1 equals to 2. Obviously, it is what actually false. Now I can say 1 equal to false. Again, press enter. 1 equal to 3, false. Press enter, function key plus F8. 1 equal to false. Because of this false, control is moving to else block. So that's the reason we are getting only 1 invalid number. Okay, this is the problem in this example. How to overcome this problem in the sense, my requirement is if only one of the condition is true, then remaining condition need not to be test actually. So in that case, we use what actually elif. Elif. Where we have to use elif statement, here it is. ELIF. Elif. Elif is a keyword. Elif stands for else space if only, sir. Okay. Elif. And now this program we can see if any one of the condition is true, other conditions will not be test. So obviously you will get result only one only. If one is true, only one will print. It will not go to here and here and here. When it will go to in these locations, when this condition is false, then only it will move to next condition. For example, my condition is my input is 2. So it will check 2 equal to 1. Not correct. It will go to here, 2 equal to correct. Correct means it will print. It will not execute now. So that's what we are getting. TWO only it is coming. Let's keep the breakpoint again here also. Once I run debug, it will ask you enter number. Now you can see my input is I'm giving what actually 3 I'm giving. So number is 3. Now this time I value holding 3 value. 3 is equal to 1, not correct. So function key plus F8. Now it will go to next condition. 3 equals to 2. 3 equals to 2 here. False. Function key plus F8. 3 equals to 3. Correct. Correct means it will jump into inside the elif, print 3. And next elif I equal to 4, it will not check because condition is true. It will jump into out of the if conditions and number is 3 only it is coming. Number is 3 is coming or not? Yes. So this is the case exactly here. So elif can be used to test multiple condition. This is also nested if. And same program we can able to convert into nested if pattern also. Yes, this is also nested if. Now you can see else space if is not possible. No, else space if is not possible. Else press enter in next line if is possible. 1, 2, 3, 4 indentations. Again here inside this if I'm taking what? Else press enter if. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Again here I'm taking else colon if I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 if condition. 4 indentation level. Now finally here I am taking else block. Here in this else I am giving what? Invalid input. 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Same program I converted into else if. It look like nested if or not? Yes, nested if only. Instead of this complex syntax, so I have covered basic syntax like first program how I covered. So enter number here. 2 is there TW. Enter num. Any wrong number entered, invalid number. It is working fine. Same program I just converted into nested if only. Either you can use this pattern, but make sure that indentation levels you have to match. Indentation levels means what? Every time, whenever you are going to change the block of code, now you can see if block it is else block. Else block code inside else block we have to write if. Again inside if block you have to write else. Inside else block we have to write if. Again, these lines are clearly saying that this is indentation level. Same matching is required. If you take any unmatching, like for example, one space I'm giving wrong, you can see this is unmatching. Just observe here, unmatching. Indentation error is there. Once I run this, indentation error you will get. Indentation error. Unindent does not match any outer indentation level. So what is the problem here? There is a problem. You can select this so that you can recognize this line and this line is not matching. No, yes, you have to make match. How to make match? This one. That's all. Now this line is matching here. Indentation levels. It will work now. So writing Python program is easy logically, but indentation level matching is somewhat different. So you have to take care indentation level. This program is same as previously what I took. Let's go back by hitting Control Z. Control Z I'm doing. So now it will go back to previous pattern. Elif through. Instead of use nested if, elif we can use better. This is very simple program. It look like there is no indentation level. Only one indentation level is possible. This program is same as previously what I have shown. That program. Both are same. So this is elif. Elif in the sense else space if. This is also called as nested if. So these are all conditional statements in Python programming. So based on condition only, we have to work on it. Based on condition, we have to work on it. Okay. So now coming to the iterative statements, like loops concept, for loop and while loop. What is iteration? Iteration means one by one. Suppose generally, when do we use iteration things? So whenever we have lot of values or group of values or collection, That values, if you want to print one by one, then we can go for iterative statements. Suppose I'll explain the example here. Suppose you have a list, sir. You know about list data structure. I discuss basic things of list data structure. This is having elements. What elements? 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. If I try to print L, how it will print in the output? Same list format only it will print the output. Just observe it. Same in list format only it will print output. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Got my point? How it will print the output? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But I don't want this. I want only one by one values from this collection. I want to take the values out of this list and I want to print them. How I can print them? There is one option is there. So there is indexing concept is there. Indexing. I'll talk about indexing in coming session. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each and every value is located at indexes. So first 10 value is located at 0, 20 value is located at 1, 30 value is located at 2, 40 value is located at 3, 50 value located at 4 only. Got my point? So 10 is 1, 10 is 0, 20 is 1, 30 is 2, 40 is 3, 50 is 4 like this. So this is the 10, 20, 30, 40 like this. If we want to print one by one values, what I can do? Index concept I am using. L of 0, print L of 1, just print L of 1, L of 1, print L of 2, print L of 3. Okay, how long it is? So if you want to display all values, all the indexes you have to provide or not? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Now just observe here, I'm providing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these values. 10, 20, 30, 40 values are coming. So here hardly 5 values are there, 5 times indexing I'm using. Imagine that there are 100 values are there. Will you say 100 times print L indexes? Yes, if you say it will work, but that's not good practice in reality. The code will not accept in real time because that is time taking process and lengthy process also. So to avoid that, if you want to iterate one by one values from this collection, yes, it is a collection. List is a ordered collection of elements, I said. Its list is a ordered collection of elements, I said. In this collection, I want to iterate one by one values. Then we can go for loop or while loop also. Let me go for loop here. So for loop syntax is this one. For loop variable, loop variable name. This is any name we can take loop variable. In is a keyword, sequence is given sequence. Now here, for loop block is statements here. This is loop body. Statements, we can use any valid statements in the loop body. For variable name, in sequence statements only. For variable name, in sequence statements. Okay. So this syntax I'm going to apply, sir. For loop syntax this is. Suppose instead of this one, what I'm trying to do, I want to print one by one values here. How to print? For loop 3. For variable name, this is loop variable name. You can take any loop variable name. For example, I am taking. I is my loop variable name. In, where, sequence. What is your sequence name? L. L is my sequence name. L I am printing. And after that, here in this statements, what we have to print? So as soon as when we hit this, it will ask you to print your valid, like print I. So for I in L, print I. So that means this I value always store at a time one value from this collection. So for 10 in L means 10 will be stored here. Next 20 in L, 20 will be stored in here. So let's print one by one will be print. So in this example, what will happen? If you take any number of values, like any type of values, any number of values also, like 45, minus 56, 34.5, character, integer, duplicate also. Lot of values I can increase. But how long you can increase that the values are going to print completely one by one like this. This is one loop through it is possible. This is for loop example. Let's keep the breakpoint, run this, run debug test. How one by one iteration you can see. Already L is holding collection of values. Okay, here you can see collection of values are there. L is holding. So in this L, when we place mouse pointer also, this collection is clearly available here. When we expand plus symbol, then it will says index values also clearly. So the index is clearly available. Now you can see 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, all total length is 11 items are there here. Okay, you can notice that. So from this 11 items list collection, one by one value we are iterating and stored into I variable, loop variable. Function key plus F8 I'm hitting, I value 10. 10 is printing. 10 is printing here. Again function key plus F8, I value, next one 20. I value 30. I value 40. I'm hitting function key plus F8, keep on. I value 45. Minus 56, 34.5, 810. That's all. We got this output window, console window, total values are coming. Got my point? This is for loop iteration. So what is the definition of for loop here? For loop is used to iterate the elements of collection. For loop is for loop is used to iterate the elements of collection. Iterate the elements of collection. Iterate the elements of collection. What the order they appear. What the order they appear. What the order they appear, sir, actually. For loop is used to iterate the elements of collection. What the order they appear. What the order they appear, same order it is going to iterate elements of collection. That is for loop. Suppose here, if you want to know each and every value after printing, type of value also, then you can use type function, type of I. While reading these values from this list collection, if you want to know what type of I it is, I type also, you will get clearly. So every value type is going to display. 10 is integer type, 20 is integer type, 30 is integer, 40 is integer. String types I, 34.5 float. A is also string, 10 is also integer. So why sir a character? No, yes, but there is no character in Python. Char data type is not available in Python. Only even single character also it is considered as a string only. That's what it is, not a character. It is not a character, it is a string only. Sir, can we pass this list directly here instead of L? Yes, why not? So no need to take separate variable. Directly you can pass this list also here. Here not only list, here it is a sequence. Sequence means any data structure you can string, list, tuple, set, and so on. Let me give here, I'm giving tuple only I'm giving. This is tuple collection. From this tuple collection, we are getting one by one values. Okay, integer type. And let me give tuple type is not required this one. Now I can give string type also. For example, I'm giving string type. What is my string here? Durga Soft I'm giving. So I'm going to read one by one character from this Durga Soft string only. Let's run this Durga Soft one by one character. D is one character. U, R, G, A, S, O, F, T, like this one. D, U, R, G, A, S, O, F, T, like this. Durga Soft is coming or not? So like this. So any sequence you can able to include it, and we will print it now. This is for loop. And sometimes we use nested for loop also. Nested for loop means a for loop which is having one more for loop within it is called nested for loop. Yes, we use in our upcoming programming nested loop logics also sometimes. So a for loop, a for loop, a for loop which is having so one more for loop within it. One or more for loop within it. One more for loop within it. One more for loop within it is called is called is called nested for loop. Nested for loop. But how execution process of nested for loop, I'll tell you. This is one for loop. Inside one more for loop, here I'm taking. So this is nested. This loop contains one more loop within it. That's what you can see indentation spaces are leaving here. This is inner loop we can call it as, and this is outer loop we can call it as. Outer loop, that is first loop. Inner loop, this is second loop. Inner loop and then outer loop. A loop which is having one more loop within it is called in outer loop and inner loop concept clearly here. Okay, so this is inner loop and this is outer loop. But how it will execute? Yes, note this point. In the nested for loop, especially for every iteration, for every iteration, for every iteration of outer loop, for every iteration of outer loop, comma, inner loop, inner loop, for every iteration of outer loop, inner loop should finish its all iterations, should finish its all iterations, all iterations, all iterations, then only, then only, then only outer loop will starts with the next iteration. Then only outer loop will starts with next iteration, next iteration. For every iteration of outer loop, for every single iteration of outer loop, inner loop should finish its all iterations only. Once we complete all iterations of inner loop, then only outer loop will starts with the next iteration. Okay, after completion of inner loop iterations, then only outer loop starts with the next iteration only. So for every iteration of outer loop, inner loop should finish its all iterations. Then only outer loop will starts with next iteration, I'm saying. Then only outer loop starts with next iteration. Let me show you example. So for example, I'm taking two lists here. So one is num list. Num list is there. Number list, that is. 1, 2, 3 numbers I'm taking. Next char list I'm taking. Character list, that is. Character list. A, B, and then C only. Num list is there, char list is there. Suppose here I'm printing this numbers collection from the by using for loop only. For n is a loop variable. You can take any loop variable. There is no need to take always I only. So I, J, K, L, any name, any loop variable you can take. This loop variable is just after collecting the values from sequence and stored into n variable only. For n in L, num list, num list, num list. Print n, and for here you can see. Next for loop I'm taking for C in char list. C in char list. Print C. Print C. But do you think these two are nested loop or separate loops? These are separate loops exactly. So first loop is for only numbers, num list will print, and second loop is for characters, only character list will print. So whenever I execute this one, now you can see here 1, 2, 3 AB. This loop is completely belongs to this one, and this loop is completely belongs to this one. But this is not a nested loop according to my syntax. You can see a loop within the loop. So here a loop within the another loop, not here. You can see I'm just moving this indentation 1, 2, 3, 4. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this loop is under comes into this loop. So this is outer loop and this is inner loop. As per my statements, for every iteration of outer loop, for every single iteration of outer loop, inner loop should finish its all iterations. Inner loop should finish its what? All iterations only. Yes, all iterations it has to finish. Then only outer loop will starts with the next iteration. Okay. So first let me keep the breakpoint. So first what it will happen? Let me explain through drawing some drawing. Now first control will jump into where, sir? For n in num list. Num list means this is n value 1. And immediately control will jump into inner loop for C in char list. C value what? A only. C value A. Okay, A is there. A is there here. A. But next iteration where it will go? Again it will go to character list only because only one iteration we finish. But two more iterations are there. It has to finish compulsory. So for C in char list means again B is there. One AB, one ABC like this one. One ABC. One ABC. Next, after completion of ABC inner loop iterations, control will jump into next iteration of outer loop. Next iteration outer loop is what? 2. Again, control will jump into inner loop. So here ABC like this. 3 iteration has to complete. After completion of inner loop iterations, next control will jump into here. So outer loop iteration what? 3. Again, inner loop will start with the next iteration like ABC, like 3 iterations complete. So result is 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, like this one. Okay, 1 ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, like this. Let's keep the breakpoint and run this test, debug test. Now you can see, and num list is holding 3 values, char list is holding 3 values. Whenever we hit the function key plus F8 here, now you can see n value 1. So n value 1, 1 value is there, n equal to 1. Function key plus F8. So control will jump into character list. Now you can see C value what? A only here. C value A. So C equals to A is there. C equals to A. Function key plus F8. N equals to what? C equals to B. C equals to C. Now you can see. After that, N value will become 2. After 2 printing, again control will jump into inner loop. C equals to A. C equals to B. C equals to C. After 3 iterations, again it will go back to outer loop. N value 3. Third iteration, A C equals to A, C equals to B, C equals to C. Finally, control will jump into out of the loop. In the console window, what is the output? 1. First iteration after loop, inner loop will finish all iterations, A, B, C. 2. Second iteration after loop, inner loop is finishing all iterations, A, B, C. The next iteration, 3, A, B, C, like this. Got my point? So this is about completely inner loop, outer loop concept. So nested loop it is. For every single iteration of outer loop, inner loop, it has to finish all iterations. Then only it will jump into next iteration of outer loop. So these loops we have to use sometimes when we are working with arrays concept like 2-dimensional arrays, rows and columns. If you want to read, then that time we can use loops concept, especially nested loop concept. So there is while loop also there. Yes, difference between while loop and for loop is what, sir? Simple. As a programmer, if you know how many number of iterations are required, okay, so limited iterations or known iterations, in that case we can go for loop. Limited iterations and known iterations, in that case we can go for loop. And while loop in unlimited iterations means not known iterations, means how many iterations takes place we don't know as a programmer. So at that time we can go for while loop. So while loop is used to execute keep on the statements till the condition is false. Once the condition is false, then control will stop the execution. So while loop is used to execute keep on the statements till the condition is false. Once condition is false, then it will stop the execution. That is the while loop actually here. Okay. So for example, you can consider this. There is a database. There is a database. In that database, there are so many records are there, but only I want to read 5 records. Then go for loop because you know 5 iterations are required for us. But this is one scenario. Next scenario, there is a database, but we don't know how many records are available. But as long as records are available in the database, that all records I want to iterate one by one. Then go for while loop. So condition based, it will iterate while loop. So while loop syntax is also very simple. Look at here. Syntax of while loop. So while is a keyword and condition you have to pass. Condition you have to pass. And here in the loop body, any valid statements you can include. So while condition and statement. While condition and then statements. Okay. So let's try to show the example here. Suppose I'm giving I value equals to 1. Initialization. While I less than or equal to 10. Just very simple example. Print I. So what is happening here? I plus plus I'm taking. I plus plus not. There is no I plus plus or plus plus I. Means post increment and pre increment concept is not there in Python. So similarly, what we need to do. So if you want to do increment values, so only the thing is, so I plus equals to 1. This is 1. This is what add and assignment operator. This already we discussed in my operator section. Add and assignment. or else this expression we can also write I equals to I plus 1. Both are same. Incrementing the value 1 purpose, we have to use this expression I plus equals to 1 or I equals to I plus 1. Any one you can use. I plus equals to 1 or I equals to I plus 1. Okay, while I less than or equal to 10, print I plus equals to 1 or I equal to I plus 1. Any one you can use. Any expression you can use. No problem. I equals to 1 while I less than or equal to 10, print I plus equals to 1. This is incrementing every time. So now this time you can see how this loop will execute. It's keep on execute till the condition is false. So 1 to 10 values are printing. But my requirement, I want to print the values in the same line only. So end equals to some space I'm giving. So this attribute also I discuss in my basic sessions. So hope you understand this. End means it will not jump into next line. It will, all the output values will print in the same line only, 1 to 10 values only. So how it is? Simple. Let's keep the breakpoint and debug test. I value 1, I value 1, 1 less than or equal to 10, correct only. If correct, function key plus F8, I value print 1. Now you can see 1 is will be 1, I will become 1, 1 will be print. Next, I will be increment to 1, I equal to I plus 1 or I plus equals to 1. I value how much it is? 2. 2 less than or equal to 10, correct. 3 less than or equal to 10, correct. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 less than or equal to 10, correct. 11 less than or equal to 10, not correct. If it is false, control will jump into out of the while loop and we got this output clear. So this is very simple while loop and for loop. So any number of iteration, it's keep on executing the statements till the condition is false. Once condition is false, then control will jump into out of the loop here. Okay. But in this while loop as well as for loop, in this context only, I'm going to show you how to use this break and continue, sir. These are important. Transfer statements, we can call it as. Break and continue. Break is used to stop the iterations. Okay, what is break here? Break is used to stop the iterations. Break is used to stop the iterations. Yes, it will stop the iterations. Break is used to stop the iteration based on condition. Based on what? Condition. Based on condition. Continue is not like that. Continue is used to skip the iterations. Continue is used to skip the iterations and continue with the next iteration. Continue with the next iteration. Yes, it will continue with the next iteration only. It will not stop. So these two, break is used to stop the iterations based on condition. Continue is used to skip the current iteration, sir. Continue is used to skip the current iteration. Skip the current iteration. Current iteration. Current iteration and continue with the next iterations. It will continue with the next iteration only. It will not stop completely. Let me show you practically break and continue with while loop and with for loop, both. First, I'll show you with the for loop how to break the statement. So this for loop, you can see I value 1. Okay, sorry. For what we can say, for loop variable I in, suppose a range of 10 I'm taking. Range of 10 in the sense range function will print 1 to 10, up to 10, including 9, excluding 10 in time. This can be print what actually here? 10 values, 0 to 9 values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let me print these values into same line only. So for this, I'm taking what? Here. Here. Now you can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Range of 10 means range value starts from 0 and including 9, excluding 10 only. But this loop can be print 0 to 9 values. But I don't want to print sometimes like you can say if I equals to 4. Whenever my condition is reaches to 4, immediately I want to break it, sir. Break means what? Look at here. Break is used to stop the iterations based on condition only. Yes, based on condition, it will stop the iterations. Now let's run this. We are stopping the iterations. 0, 1, 2, 3 only it will be there. Whenever I value reaches to 4, then I should say stop. Stop in the sense what? It will stop the execution, and 0, 1, 2, 3 only it will be there. Though we are able to get the values from 0 to 9, but still I don't want to 0 to 9. Only 0, 1, 2, 3 is enough. Then in this case, what we use? Break. In this case, what we use? Break. So for I equals to, if I equals to 4, if it is matching 4 value, I value iteration 4, then I want to stop. Suppose here I'm using continue, then what will happen? Continue is used to skip the current iteration. It is used to skip the current iteration and continue with the next iteration, I'll say. Continue is used to skip the current iteration and continue with the next iteration. Now you can see it, run this, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is not going to iterate. It will skip. Then it will continue with the next iteration like 5, 6, 7, 8 like this. But if I want to continue more values, then we can use R. I equals to 6 also. I'm giving. That means I equals to 4 or I equals to 6. Both I want to skip. So fourth iteration is not there. Sixth iteration is not is there. 7, 8, 9 continue. 5 is continue. So continue is used to only skip the current iteration and continue with the next iteration, and break is used to stop the iterations completely. Okay. This concept we can use not only inside for loop, while loop also you can use. Let me show you break and as well as continue with while loop. So I equals to 1. While I less than or equal to 10. Then print I. This loop can be print what actually? 10 values. And attribute I'm using for same line display output value, same line. So I have not increment 1. I equal to I plus 1. That's what we can see this. I 1. As long as 1 less than or equal to 10, what I said, you can print 1 only. It's keep on printing. It is unlimited iterations, no? Yes. So let's stop debugging, and I want to stop debugging, stop run, and I want increment I value, I plus equals to 1. This I forgot. Whenever we increment, then it will go to next value iteration. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But here you can see I'm trying to break the iterations. If I equals to 4 again, matching, then I want to stop what? Break. Break means what here? It will stop the iterations. Only 1, 2, 3 is coming like this. There is no 4. But here continue if you want to do. How I can do that continue? You can say continue. But look at here. If I try to continue here, so 1, 2, 3 only is there. Yes, 4 is going to skip. It will not continue. But when it will be continue, okay, if you increment this here, I plus equals to 1, then only here continue. You can see it will continue. Now you can see fourth iteration is skipping, fifth iteration is continue. Why, sir? Here it is increment is required again. Just observe here. If I don't increment like this here, simple logic, I'll keep the breakpoint here. Okay, what is happening? You can see this. Note this point. Debug test. I value 1. When we hit the function key plus F8, now you can see I value 1 less than or equal to 10 correct. 1 equal to 4 not correct. If not correct, it will jump into print. 1 value will print. 1 increment by 1. 2 less than or equal to 10 correct. 2 equal to 4 not correct. If not correct, it will jump into where? It will print 2 value also. Yes, 2 will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 10 correct. 3 equal to 4 not correct. It will print 3 increment by 1 4. 4 less than or equal to 10 correct. 4 equal to 4 correct. Correct means what? It has to skip the iteration. But after skip this fourth iteration, it has to continue with fifth iteration. No. Yes. How it will continue without incrementing here immediately? So that's what it is not going to be continue by incrementing. Now you can see continue, again going back, continue, again going back, continue. It is not move forward. Why it is not move forward? Because after whenever we reaches I equal to 4, It has to increment. Then only it will move forward. Fifth iteration, it will continue. That's what we are not getting the output result. Got my point? So here we have to increment. Here I plus equals to 1. When we increment this, it will go with 5. 5 value through, it will continue. Fourth value will skip. 5 value through, it will continue. That's what we got this output. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not there. 5, 6. If you want to skip more iteration, then again we can use I equals to 7 also. I'm taking 7 and 4 will be skipped. Fourth iteration is skipping, 7 iteration is skipping. This is continue with while, continue with for, break with while, break with for loop. So break means complete iteration you can able to stop. Continue means only current iteration we can skip and remaining iterations we can continue. There is one more important keyword is there. Pass keyword is there. Pass. P-A-S-S, pass. So pass is a keyword which is used to make leave the block of code as empty. Means inside the while loop or inside the for loop, as a programmer, if you don't want to include any logic, temporarily if you want to skip this block of code, then we use pass keyword. Sir, what happen if I don't use pass keyword here? If you don't use pass keyword, it will give indentation error, obviously. Okay, so you should not leave while with logic. While loop body should not be empty always. So it has to have some condition now, pass or something like this. Now once I run this, it will work now. Same similarly, not only while loop. Suppose for loop I'm taking for I in range. For I in range I'm taking. My range values is what actually? Print I can say that. Loop for loop body is there. So body is there, it will execute. If there is no body, sometimes I don't know how to write the body of the logic of the for loop. So as a programmer, temporarily I want to leave this. So I can use pass. So to leave the block of code as empty or without implementation, then we use pass keyword in Python programming. If you don't use pass keyword, then Python interpreter will not allow you to move further programming. Compulsory. If you don't want to implement anything, you can use pass keyword. Not only here, in the if block, else block also. For example, I value 10 I'm taking. If I equals to 10. If you have the logic, you can write it logic. Otherwise, you can use pass. Else block, again pass. So nothing will execute in this case. So there is no program error also. If I don't remove anything, if I don't include pass, no code is available in the if block and else block. Obviously, indentation error will get. If you have logic with it, then you can write logic with it. Print true, I can say that. Print true. If this condition is true, I can say true. If this condition is false, I can say false here. So why we use pass keyword in the sense to leave the block of code as empty. Then we can use pass keyword here. Okay, pass keyword. So this is the case. So this is what actually complete control flow statements which is available in Python programming. Once you got an idea about this if else nested if elif for while break continue, then tomorrow onwards we'll start with the string data structure with its all functionalities. String data structure with its all functionalities. So we know about string. Basic idea I have given in the last examples. String is a sequence of characters or group of characters. String can be created by using single quotes, double quotes, triple single quotes, triple double quotes. String is immutable. So this is basic idea which I give. But actually we have to do lot of functions we have to discuss on string. You know how to get the functions list on string. So simple dir of str. Print dir of str in the sense str represents string data structure in Python. And these are all list of functions which are available on string. We have to discuss each and every function in detail with practical implementation. This concept is called string manipulation. Similarly, other data structures also we have to discuss. List, tuple, set, dictionary, range, bytes, byte array, frozen set, everything we have to discuss. And it will take minimum 4 to 5 days to complete all data structure with all functionalities because it is important. So that's all from my end. And in the last session, I have given some task. Can you please tell me what task I have given? Anyone? I think find the biggest of three numbers. Yeah. Have you done that? If you done, then you can paste your code. Yeah, that's fine. Mr. Akshay, you are right. This code is absolutely right. But this we can write in more simplifies. Yes, I'm copying and pasting here. So he is accepting what actually three numbers. If A greater than B, if A greater than C, A is greater than B and C. If B greater than C and B is greater than A and C, else C is greater than A and C. Yes, it's fine. Yeah, this is fine. I expected this code only. Yes, someone is written. Now you can see A value 10, B value 20, C value 30. Obviously, 30 is greater than 10 and 20 only. Okay. Which number is biggest number? I said, okay, no problem. This is also fine. 20 and 10. So it is correct. But this is also required. More simplifies code. This is what I expected. So this is my code similarly look like. Okay. This code. Sweta has written like this. Okay. So brackets are not optional. Okay, no problem. So you can see I, J, K. If I greater than or equal to J and J, I greater than or equal to K, I is biggest value or else J is biggest value. No, this is not required to check. No. J greater than or equal to K is not required. J greater than or equal to I is not required. Nothing, because already this condition is there. This is enough. J is big, else K is big only. It will work. If you enter 2, 3, 4, obviously 4 is the biggest value. If you enter 3, 4, 2 or 4, 3, 2, any logic, 2, then 4 is the biggest value. This is fine. This I expect. And operator have to use. Where have to download PyCharm? I mean, why you are asking this time? Already we clearly mentioned in my previous demo lectures. Have you watched the videos? If you watch my second or third video, you will get clear idea how we can download PyCharm and all. I think you are not watching my videos. That's not accept. You must and should watch the video and you have to know that clearly. Okay. So that's what we are recording videos and we are sending, So PyCharm editor, still you are asking means you have not at all started practice. That's not good. Please do it immediately. So you can see PyCharm editor, you can simply go to search and download PyCharm. Download PyCharm. And here there is official website is there, jetbrains.com. Click on this link. Once you click on this link, now you can see here, download community version, you have to download. These steps already I have given clearly in my video. If you follow that video step by step, you will easily download and install. That is not a big deal. Please do it. Okay. Yeah. Pratik Kulakarni, yes, your code also absolutely fine. This is A greater than B and A greater than C, A is the greatest, and B greater than A and B greater than C, B is the greatest, C is the greatest. It's fine. And today task, what I'm giving you, take one input value. Okay. Your input should be like this. Input equals to any number, like 3. Output should be how it should be now. Output is look like. Output is that 3 table you have to generate. 3 equal to 3 into 1 equal to 3. 3 into 2 equal to 6. Like this one, 3 into 10 equal to 30. Up to 10. 10 multiplication. Got my point? Take any input value from the user choice, that is 3 or 4 or 5, he will enter. Once he will enter 3 or 4 or 5, then that number table we have to generate, like same picture, 3 into 1, 3 into 2, 3 into 3, 3 into 4, 3 into 5, up to 3 into 10. This logic you can write it. Okay. Yes. So this is the case actually here. This is the case. So let's go for tomorrow's session. We'll continue from here onwards. And then Mr. Vishnu and Arasu, I request you please confirm to Durga Saf. Okay. So they are trying to contact you. Please respond with them so that we will get clarity. So we'll see tomorrow.